good strategy. I've had Mr. Mack and everybody that we pretty
I thought I was optimistic. I thought 2-3 months. I was not. There was no way they would pass Christmas.
the summer had like a spike.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's not hard. That's how it works. And managed to do it.
Pretty crazy.
Go back to normal.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, that's what I'm going. It's going to be pretty normal. It might be like 1 or 2 online classes. They're already doing a lot of online stuff right now.
I wasn't even thinking that it was at the end of the day.
I'm glad I had the thought to go change it over there instead of just going through the slides. It's so weird. I just, when I'm like doing it, I'm trying to imagine like everyone in here, and it's just doesn't look like a lot of people.
It really is.
I thought it would look like more.
You guys doing it with just the seniors and juniors, like not as bad.
And then there's a ton of people in the back that, like the vibes and stuff.
We didn't pick any music. I realized that. I'm just like thinking like this all the part. We didn't do the music thing. There's something that we tell them to keep it next year.
I bet there's a few people.
We don't like to sit in silence. Let's make everybody applaud that.
All right, welcome to Hyatt Thorpe Senior Speech. Hyatt joined Augusta Prep in middle school in the 8th grade. Since his freshman year of high school, he has played basketball for us as well as soccer, where he is captain for both teams. He's also a tough chess player, as I've learned firsthand many times in chess club, where he is vice president. He's also president of Fellowship of Christian Students. He's joined here today by friends and family, including his father, Scott Thorpe, his mother, Amy Seraphin, his sister, Ansley Thorpe, special friend, Kate Dial, and many moms in prayer. Too many to name. Let's welcome them all here today. Outside of prep, Hyatt trains hard as he prepares for a pro career in ping pong. He spends his downtime sitting by the fireplace reading his psych book. He also knows a lot about psychology behind advertising, which he will be sharing with us today. Please welcome Hyatt to the podium.
What are some things that pop into your head from what's on the screen? Maybe Jake from State Farm, maybe Ronald McDonald, or maybe Jack Sinix wearing those shorts that show just a little too much. Well, no matter what you thought of, it is probably the result of effective advertising. Now, I think everyone pretty much has their own idea of what advertising is, but the actual definition of advertising, according to Emily Gorvish, a SEO specialist at L2T Media, is, quote, advertising is the process of persuading a targeted audience to take a specific action, whether that's buying a product or bringing awareness towards an issue. An advertisement is considered messaging that attempts to engage and influence an audience, end quote. A lot of you probably look at ads and commercials with a scornful eye, because they usually appear during something you're trying to enjoy. But the strategy behind most commercials is actually pretty fascinating. Now, there's no direct formula for successful advertising, proven by the opposite marketing strategies, such as Slim Jim and Wendy's advertising tactic of making jokes on social media, opposed to Apple's strategies portraying a sense of professionalism and establishment. So from saying that, what are some ways to make effective advertising? Well, it is all revolved around the brain and how to target parts of it to secure your strategy in someone's thoughts. Two of the main ways to do this is through visual and audio appeals. The biggest ways to target visual appeals is through color and facial expressions. Facial expressions in advertisements, such as commercials, are pretty easy to understand, such as seeing a person smile tends to make you happy, and seeing someone frown might make you sad. Advertisements use this accordingly to convey the emotion they want their audience to feel. The psychology of colors is a huge part of marketing. It is one of the many subtle ways an advertisement can influence your mind. Each color tends to convey a certain emotion to many people, such as red causes a sense of urgency and builds appetite, green can be used to stimulate harmony and encourage a balance, purple stimulates creativity, blue causes a sense of security and reliability, while also curbing appetite, black can be used to associate with authority, and white offers safety and purity. While that is not all the colors, those are the most commonly used ones. To use these colors effectively, the advertisements pick the ones that signify their brand and message the best. And typically, it is best to stick to two main colors to provide a little variety, but not too much to focus on. There are so many different messages companies can convey with different uses of colors, from tints, shades, or the temperature of the colors, but that's too much to speak on right now. Colors are easily one of the most effective and common tools within marketing. Now that was the visual appeals in advertising, but there's also the audio appeals. One of the most important audio appeals is jingles. Everybody knows what a jingle is, like the McDonald's jingle, or the Mike Costello jingle, for example. But what makes these sounds so effective is the repetition and simplicity of them. Companies structure these jingles to be associated with their brand and get the sound stuck in your head so that their brand is always on your mind. When a jingle gets stuck in your head, it is called an earworm. An earworm is most easily created from easy-to-remember sounds and tones. Another advantage of a jingle is that the message conveyed is much more powerful than if it was just read without the music. The CEO of marketing and media firm Forward NYC, Shmuley Rosenberg, states that, quote, "When words are put to music, their meaning is amplified, and they become much more potent and powerful. We teach young children through music and song. Nursery rhymes help children learn to form sentences, and we remember these for a lifetime. Using this tool has contemporary marketing power, as it always has and it always will," end quote. Visual and audio appeals are the two most broad appeals, but good advertising usually tries to target a handful of less broad appeals. Here is a list of the many different appeals that companies use in their advertising. To highlight a few, the Bandwagon Appeal wants to make it seem like you should buy a product since everyone else has. The Humor Appeal tries to grab someone's attention. The Emotional Appeal targets your different emotions, such as feeling sad for those dogs and those sad dog commercials that we all feel obliged to donate to. And the Social Appeal makes it seem that if you buy a certain thing, you might reach a higher level of social status. Now those are all different appeals to target different senses and emotions in advertising. But how do companies actually turn that into successful and effective marketing? Well, to start, they have to follow some basic rules of advertising. Businesses need to understand what they're offering. It sounds obvious, but they have to perceive what other people are thinking they're going to get and make sure that's what they're actually getting. Like how ads from car dealerships show multitudes of different models of cars on their lot, and the dealership needs to do the best they can to replicate that same perception from the commercial to their physical dealership for customers. Companies also need to understand who they are selling to and what their customers are typically interested in. Such as a cowboy boot company isn't going to spend a lot of money advertising in New York City, but instead would rather invest in ads in more places like Texas. Companies should also try to have one big idea to portray to their consumers instead of multiple different ones that might confuse them. Such as a fast food chain should stick to food and maybe not try to create a new gaming console. And as a final rule, simply use this strategy until it doesn't work anymore. There's no need for a business to change their marketing strategies if their profits keep increasing. But on the contrary, if a certain strategy doesn't seem to be working, then companies will try to vary their tactics to optimize their success. Those are some basic rules of marketing. After these rules, a crucial way to have a successful advertising is to build a consumer brand relationship. Companies now more than ever strive to solidify this relationship the most they can because of the great level of buying control within our world. Companies want their consumers to be loyal to the brand, and a good first impression from an advert is just the thing to get that started. Advertising does not build that relationship single-handedly, but rather it opens the door for it. Advertising is meant to draw in a consumer to try their product, and after that, companies rely on their actual product and the consumer's experience to strengthen that relationship. A different marketing tactic that has proven to be successful, but could also damage this consumer brand relationship, is the tracking of consumers' information. Now, this isn't necessarily information like where you live, who you're close with, or what school you go to. It's all information of how you interact online. Almost every app you open or every site you visit collects data of what you do on that outlet for however long you're on it. For example, a clothing company will track every shirt you look at, what size you select, what design you prefer, what colors you prefer, how long you were on that site, and what might have made you leave the site, and many other things. Almost every online site tracks things like this, but usually this data is used to try and optimize every customer's experience every time they visit their site. For example of how this works is through the Chick-fil-A app. The app keeps track of all your previous purchases, so when you use the app again, it gives you an option to get one of your recent orders. This is a simple way of tracking prior orders from customers and using this to optimize the consumer's next experience by providing a simple way to order something they've had before. Most data and information tracking is simple and harmless like this, that only serves to optimize your buying experience. However, an effective way for social media to generate revenue is selling this data to other companies so they can create better targeted ads for consumers. This has obviously sparked some concern from the public, as most people are unaware of what data they're giving companies every day and what these companies are doing with this information. Whenever you visit a site and they ask you to accept cookies, those are the things that allow for your data to be tracked. Cookies are like the markers that process what you do while you're visiting a website. This is how you can get ads about athletic wear for a week after just looking for new running shorts on one website. The company has taken that information and sold it to other companies so they can target your interest through their ads. This is a scary thought, but keep in mind that 9 times out of 10, this information is only used to satisfy your interest online and improve your experiences. Always understand that you have more of an influence on companies than you probably think. After all, they change their tactics based on what you do. So do be safe online and know how companies are trying to influence you one way or another, and be aware of what message ads are trying to get across to you. See what's the best for you and what can wait. Separate the reliable ads from the fraud ones. And during these unprecedented times, there's a lot of negativity in the world, and so many people are struggling to find self-worth. Maybe you don't find advertising all that interesting, or maybe you just slept through most of the speech like Nathan. But everyone here can take away that you always matter to someone. If hundreds of companies are using your actions and information to bring in revenue, then that means that those things are providing food to eat and places to stay for a lot of people in those companies. So always know that there are hundreds of thousands of people that you matter to, so you can live a normal life. Thank you.
All right, I'll never clear my cookies again. Great job, Hyatt. And if anyone would like to join me in petitioning Mike Costello to let Hyatt rap in his next commercial, please let me know. Let's please thank Hyatt's guests again. At this time, I'll let Hyatt join them. Juniors, seniors, and advisories, please congratulate Hyatt from a distance.